Hi everyone, it is Dani and welcome to this update video this morning. I hope that you are doing well and we're going to be taking a look at the latest for Invest 94L. So it is very prominent right now out there. It's taking advantage of the conditions it seems and producing some more activity, and also some models such as Euro and Icon continue to trend the system into the Caribbean, potentially bringing impacts this weekend. So we'll be looking at that. We'll also be talking about what is happening across the Caribbean and surrounding areas and the rainfall forecast for the day. So let's get straight into it. Kickstarting things, looking at these satellite imagery, there you can see that the disturbance is quite prominent right now, producing that area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms. And why is that the case? We'll be taking a look at it in a moment, but let's zoom down into the Caribbean, and there we can see that there's some scattered showers and thunderstorms here and there, sections of the Bahamas, for eastern Cuba, going over into Central America, and even some activity moving in from the main development region. So maybe some occasional cloud cover, or even some showers moving through parts of the Lesser Antilles. Nothing too crazy on the whole. Now, in the Western Caribbean, there is a stationary front. So that cold front, which was moving down, is now a stationary front. So as suggested by the name, it is not moving. It's just stalling within that area and weakening, and eventually it is going to be dissipating. But ahead of that boundary, there is that activity that we saw, those scattered showers and thunderstorms extending from parts of Central America through to the Bahamas. But behind that boundary is that mass of cooler temperatures, that cool air that has made its way down. So for parts of the Yucatan headed to Cuba, and even going up to the Bahamas, there are those cooler temperatures for Florida as well, and even those northerly winds making their way down. Unfortunately, again, that boundary has stalled right there before it could reach Jamaica, but there'll be a lot more of this activity coming. And by the way, I'm going to be posting a video on my second channel that will talk about what this winter could be like for the Caribbean. So you can go ahead and subscribe to Weather Extras if you haven't yet done so, and tap the bell so you know when the video is posted. But I have been working on it for some time now. Let's go on to that rainfall forecast map. So this is from the Euro model, and as it becomes more colorful, more and more rainfall activity is expected, especially when we see those shades of purples, a lot of heavy rainfall. So as I said, for Honduras, potentially the Bay Islands, even headed down into some parts of Colombia, there could be a lot of heavy rainfall today. But overall, we're seeing the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands, sections of Central and Eastern Cuba, going to the Cayman Islands, the rest of Honduras, as well as Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, going to Venezuela, the Guyanas. Pretty colorful for these areas, suggesting that there could be some periods of very heavy rainfall. And when that happens, there's going to be the potential of flash flooding. So please stay safe if you should encounter such inclement weather conditions. As we head through to the Lesser Antilles, including Trinidad, Tobago, Barbados, there may be a better chance of rainfall today compared to yesterday for some areas, maybe even a thunderstorm popping up here and there. So I'll be on the lookout for that. I know that many of you have been longing for the rain. I have been seeing the comments, and hopefully today that will happen for your area. Same story as we head to the northeastern islands, parts of the Leeward Islands, including St. Kitts and Nevis, going to Montserrat, maybe even for Antigua and Barbuda, Saba, St. Eustatius, St. Martin, St. Bartholomew, Anguilla, going to the Virgin Islands, maybe even some spots in Puerto Rico. There could be a better chance of, there's exactly a better chance of rainfall today. Not guaranteed for everywhere, but again, hopefully for your area, you will actually receive some rainfall activity. Things will be a bit calmer for Hispaniola, still that chance of seeing something popping up. Going to Jamaica as well, similar story. There could be some afternoon showers and thunderstorms across some spots in the island. ABC Islands, Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire remaining pretty dry for the most part, with a low chance of rainfall. And now we're heading on to the disturbance 94L. So here we're taking a closer look at the system on satellite imagery, and we can definitely see that it is producing quite a bit of activity right now. It's producing a lot more thunderstorms compared to a couple of days ago. And so as it relates to the National Hurricane Center's graphic, still that high 80% chance of formation through the next 7 days. Through the next 2 days, it has risen up to 50%. So that chance has been back on the rise. It actually went down, but now it's going back up as the system seemingly wants to take advantage of a conducive aggressive environment. So as I said earlier, why is it starting to have all this activity associated with it? Let's go on to the sea surface temperature map. So here we have it. And do you notice something? So the disturbance is right within that area, and take a look at those temperatures, 30, 31 degrees. So this warm, these very warm waters are fueling all that activity. That's the reason we're seeing all these thunderstorms popping up, and there isn't that very strong shear taking away all those thunderstorms, cutting them off, preventing them from growing. So that is allowing for the system to actually grow out there and have the appearance that it does now. But will it consolidate? Will all this activity consolidate, and could we have a tropical depression very soon? Let's see how it progresses through the day. Going on to some model data now, we're going to be taking a look at the GFS, Euro, Icon, and Canadian. So kickstarting things, looking at GFS. So GFS still very consistent on the system, quickly strengthening. This is as we head into Friday, the 20th of the month, showing that hurricane. We see a pressure of 977 millibars, and notice just how tightly packed in that circular manner those black lines are. So those black lines are isobars, which join areas of equal pressure. So GFS is showing that there will be a hurricane, and as I've been saying, a stronger system would make that curve sooner. A weaker system would move further to the west, because this is going to be curving around the area of high pressure. That front is going to be allowing it that opportunity to do so. That's why it's going to be making that curve, and will be making that curve sooner. So this is as we head into Sunday. There we can see the system to the northeast of the Leeward Islands. Let's head on to the Euro model. So Euro continues to be very consistent about a weakened system, or a weak system rather, making that Caribbean approach. There's all that moisture, all that activity associated with it. This is as we head into Friday. So there we can see it, and a weak system would actually be likely less organized and producing widespread activity. So this would actually result in a lot of rainfall across most of the Lesser Antilles. And speaking of, I want to take you guys to the Euro's forecast. This is for the next 5 days. This goes out to Sunday. This is the rainfall total. So this is not all expected in a very, very short period of time here. But looking out there, we can see that all that rainfall activity that would be expected of the system. Notice some of those burgundy shades for Barbados, headed up to the Leeward Islands, and even going to the Virgin Islands as well. So if the system makes that very close approach, there could be a lot of heavy rainfall across sections of the Caribbean. And then in other areas such as the Cayman Islands, heading over into Central America, Northern South America, especially Colombia, a lot of heavy rainfall. We can see that these very high totals will be accumulating in these areas over the next couple of days. GFS, on the other hand, showing that those very high rainfall totals associated with 94L, or whatever it will be at the time, will remain offshore up to 15, 20 plus inches of rainfall. But again, GFS showing that offshore, and also expecting that there will be a lot of activity going on over in Central and Northern South America. And so let's head on to our other models. We're now taking a look at the Canadian model. So Canadian is now showing a stronger system, and again, a stronger system would make that turn sooner. There we have it approaching with that pressure of 987 millibars, likely a hurricane, and then making that curve, just missing the Leeward Islands right there. So still being very close in proximity, but now compared to previous runs, the Canadian is taking the system up, making that curve before it can enter the region. In previous runs, it was showing a tropical storm entering. And then finally, the Icon model. So Icon is expecting that we'll have that low pressure area approaching, and all that activity spreading across the islands. Not seeing anything organized right here as we head into Saturday. So this weekend would be the time of impact if what is being seen here by Icon and Euro comes to fruition. So if the system remains on the weaker side, if it does not achieve tropical cyclone status or even tropical storm status as we head into around Thursday or so, it will likely make a closer approach to the Caribbean. And with all the activity, as we saw, there could be some periods of very heavy rain across sections of the Lesser Antilles, which may trigger flooding across some areas, maybe even some gusty winds. But the main concern is going to be that water, which may also trigger those landslides and even mudslides as well. So that is going to be a possibility, guys, and that seems like a pretty good possibility at this point point in time. Again, let's see how the disturbance evolves through the day. We're seeing it producing some more activity. Let's see if it'll materialize into anything much. And of course, I'm here to keep you posted. So stay tuned for my next update coming this evening, where I'll also include that updated Climate Prediction Center's outlook, which should be out later today. So that is it for now. And I hope that you found this video to be quite informative. However, if you have any questions, as always, please do leave them in the comments. I'll respond to you once I can. And remember to be weatherwise.